but the very second that they would be like, you have to go to your room and now you must stay there. No, I let me out. I need out. Like not even grounded from the games. Like, you can go play games, but don't come out of your room. No, I don't want to be in here. Nope.
Right.
It's one thing when you're like locked in by choice and locked in by force. It's like,
I know, man, and it seems like lockdown just everywhere. So you're locked down by your government, you're locked down by the weather, you're locked down because you've been exposed or to somebody and stuff. So it's nonstop.
I can remember being young, like a little kid, and I could spend forever in my room. We were middle class. My dad was a soldier, but we had a lot of hand-me-downs and things like that. So I had a TV and a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo or whatever in my room because it was hand-me-down TVs, yada yada yada.
Right.
But I could spend forever in my room, like never come out. My parents would have to remind me. You do have to eat and drink and use the bathroom, right?
Yeah, I think I was about this, like, it was kind of like that same time period for me when I got my TV in my room with I think it was the Super Nintendo. And that right there, basically I stayed in my room because I had cable television and then also the Super Nintendo. So I was golden there and stuff. Because I think my parents had the Nintendo in their bedroom or so. It was something where I didn't have it in my room. I would have to go somewhere else and play it and stuff. But then Super Nintendo, they put it in my room, and that was it. It's over. Game over.
But the very second that they would be like, you have to go to your room and now you must stay there. No, I let me out. I need out. Like not even grounded from the games. Like, you can go play game, but don't come out of your room. No, I don't want to be in here. Nope.
Right. That was I remember those days vividly. You need to go to your room. We're like, why? Well, no, I don't want to go to my room. I want to go play outside. So
yeah.
Then when then there was the opposite when they wanted me to come out. No, I'm going to stay in my room now. I'm good.
That blend of those of us that grew up with this technology, but are very formative, 4, 5, 6 years old, our schoolyard play, formative years. All of that was geared outdoors for the most part, and it wasn't until late elementary school, maybe, or early middle school that the games really kicked off hardcore, where all your friends could afford it for the most part, and so we all had that blend. It's like, we can play games all day Saturday, but Sunday, at 13 years old, we rode our bikes all day, went to the beach and hung out all outside all day.
Right.
And today I don't see it as much. It's all electronics all the time, indoors, outdoor.
Yeah, it's just interesting because it's like people go to concerts, people go to sporting events, and instead of enjoying the moment, they have their camera out, like their phone out and camera and recording it. It's like, why are you recording? You're here, enjoy the moment. And it's just so weird today with technology and everybody's more fixated on capturing that moment instead of enjoying the moment and
to show off to others. Look what I did. Versus,
and share it on social media. So I'm here, you're not type deal. Interesting. But my next door neighbor, they had one of the coolest things that. So they behind their garage was kind of, it was like a storage room, I would guess, or whatever. But it was a single mom with two brothers, and basically, all of us in the neighborhood or in that kind of close vicinity would go hang out at their house because basically they converted into just a big playroom. And so they had a TV, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis and stuff, but it was also had doors to go outside. So we would play in the backyard when it was really nice. And then we would go inside and, everybody would bring over their own, different Super Nintendo games. And we would just take turns playing, whoever brought whatever game over. And, play it that way. And it was just, those were the days that I remember, like Saturdays, like from 10, 11 o'clock in the morning to like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I don't think we even stopped to eat anything. I think we just got water and that was it. It was crazy.
Yeah. God, and LAN parties and
oh my
PC
gosh,
gaming and especially in the days of StarCraft 97, 98, 99. Man. Oh God. Half-Life, Team Fortress, Quake Arena, so
Warcraft 2, StarCraft, like that was it for me.
I only remember like 3 teachers from middle school from 96 to 99. I can remember Miss Hernick, Miss Trewick, and shout out to Miss Trewick, who as a teacher made a mistake and apologized to me a long time, and that was pretty cool. So shout out to her. But yeah, I can only remember two. I thought I could remember a third. Nope, it's not there. Never mind. I can't because it's all. But I can tell you about all the big hunter game maps I played on StarCraft, on Battle.net, OG Battle.net. I can tell you all about the epic clan battles on Team Fortress Classic between the Knights of Ni and the ass kicking bastards, AKB and KIN. Clans my friends and I had made up, and just so much great shit. And it's awesome that we're talking about games, because good morning everybody and welcome to LRMornings today with Kyle and
Schockey.
And it's Tuesday, and that means we get to do a Tech Tuesday segment, and we're kind of right in it right now and big state of play from Sony last week. Showed us really not a whole lot of new games, but some new information on games, including some free DLC basically for Final Fantasy VII Remake with a Yuffie chapter. And for those of us that got Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4, digitally, we will get a digital PS5 version of it with that DLC for free, which is pretty cool. And then they showed that a lot of their games, including older exclusives, are going to be ported over to the PC, and some of their newer games that people thought were going to be, PlayStation exclusive, or at least PS exclusive for more than a few months to a year, are going to start hitting PC sooner. Now, we're not talking games like Horizon Zero Dawn hitting, or Horizon Forbidden West hitting PC within 6 months to a year, but eventually, yes, like Zero Dawn did, if I'm not mistaken. I think it hits Steam this year.
Yeah.
And this brings up the thing that I kind of like laughed at Microsoft a while ago, like the whole cloud streaming thing, kind of like damning them, because it's like, well, now what's the point of your hardware if you can do it off your phone, your PC, your even a weak laptop can stream high-end AAA Xbox One X titles via Game Pass. So why the hardware? Did Sony just shoot themselves in the foot?
I mean, it's too early to tell. But we know that video games let me put it this way. Video game consoles, I think, are coming to an end. I think PS5 is going to basically be it. I'm not saying that like it'll be within a year or two, it will be the end of PS5, but I think this is the last major console we're going to see from Sony. It just seems that way. It seems that like everything's going PC based. It seems like most of the video game community has now accepted PC gaming as a a natural, fit. There's a lot more laptops being sold, a lot more tablets being sold. Kids are now making their own consoles or desktops themselves, and it's and they're customizing it to what they want. And so it just seems like the generic video game console, that era is slowly but surely dying. So I think Sony's trying to beat it to the punch instead of having something that's just video game console. Is that all right? Now let's start slowly but surely transitioning to the PC realm, because I think that's where the future is. I mean, you can't compete with a PC today. I mean, just PC gaming all around it's a lot better than when we were playing, Warcraft to X-Wing, TIE fighter type deals. I mean, though, like when we were playing PC in the late 90s on 56K modems, I mean, that was just like a more of a headache than everything else, to get everything loaded up. Remember, I don't know if you ever played TIE Fighter, but remember it came on 6 was it A drive floppy disks and stuff that you had to upload and one at a time.
5 1/4.
5
1/4. Yeah.
5 1/4. Yeah. And so, I mean, that was something that you had to be knowledgeable on to upload. And now today, it just seems like everyone, or that, the majority of gamers know how to build and play, and they prefer to play their games on PC because they can customize it the way they want it. Where a console is very generic. It's not customized for you. It's basically, something that pretty much anyone can play in a sense. I think Nintendo is going to be the one that outlasts everybody because they just seems, they found their niche and they keep going with it, and it works.
Apple.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's a weird move. It's a very weird move to see Sony so eager to transition their games over to Steam, over to PC so fast, especially when you just came out with a brand new console. Why not keep that exclusivity to it and get more people to buy? But I guess their studies show that their wave of buyers of PC or PlayStation consoles are slowly, but surely dying down, and more are going to the PC realm. So to keep everybody, video games sell, money, or make money for Sony. So
I think it'll take think it'll take another year, maybe 2, for the data to settle. But I honestly believe this pandemic and what you and I are doing right now, podcasting, recording, is exactly why PC sales, hardware sales, even Mac sales, I'm including, when I say PC, I mean personal computers at home, regardless of OS. Because motherfuckers, I do dual boot Linux. What? No. So anyways, I mean, if you don't carry a thumb drive with tails on you for usage, like on public Wi-Fi spots, you guys need some go like to Linus Tech Tips and what's his Austin Evans on YouTube. But anyways, I think that people realized, I need this workstation at home, but it can also play games. It can also play movies. And if I'm willing to put in a little effort, talk to somebody that knows a little something, I can get this form factor that can actually fit and look good next to my TV. Right. And I think that has definitely made people go, look at this Steam, look at the Origin/EA store. But and all these games I like are here, and it's not cloud gaming, because I still feel like until the majority of us have access to a real 30 megabytes, not bits, up, and at least a good solid 8 or not up, 30 down, and at least a good solid 8 up. And so everybody's got that like online 4K cloud gaming. Not no, especially first person shooters, but
right,
computer gaming. I think you're right. I think it's going to see it potentially will see a bump, and maybe Sony saw some, because Microsoft is more on the software side, so they might see a bunch of computers being sold with Windows, but Sony might, they might be more being able to pay attention to like the types of systems being sold. Mm-hmm. How many of them are having their PlayStation remote access app installed and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're hitting it all on the right, all the right points there. Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is check social media out, and Twitch. I mean, majority of gamers that are on Twitch aren't on console; they're on PC. And you social media. Guys are showing off. Guys and girls, gamers are showing off their setup. Their 3-monitor system. Everything is PC.
Check out my slick RGB, man. My RGB.
Yeah, that's it. And so, but you customize it to fit your office, your room, just like you said. COVID kind of forced us into like rethinking our work rooms, or and like, oh, wait a minute, like you said, let me put another monitor here, put another CPU unit off to the side. I have my workstation, my place, my video game station, all in one. Put it together. I mean, and to me, I didn't really believe in the hype in PC until I played FIFA. What was it, last year? Or was it? Shoot, I can't remember if it was either 2019 or 2020. And I'm thinking, no way, like FIFA is going to be better on the PC versus, versus like PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. And I was blown away. Basically, this how smooth it was, the 4K look to it and everything. Sony and Microsoft, they always say, "Oh yeah, we got it set up. You can play it on 4K and stuff." And it's great. It's a lot. It's not 8-bit, Nintendo or whatever. But when you see it, running on a high-powered machine, like some of these guys are building on PC, it's unbelievable how fast these engines are going and stuff, and how smooth the transitions are and stuff. So yeah,
pair it with an actual gaming monitor.
Oh yeah,
that's something people don't understand. Like TV and console players that never fucked in the world of computer gaming, they're just now like really seeing the difference between 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second. And I'm like, dude, I've been running over between 120 hertz and 144 hertz monitors for over a decade. and I would have been doing it earlier if they would have been cheaper.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, is that a lot of these PCs are becoming now more affordable, or the parts are, at least, to build it.
Absolutely.
The beauty of Amazon and a lot of these online stores is that you don't have to go through just Best Buy or Circuit City back in the day, and so in some of these PC stores that were a little bit shady and stuff, and you didn't know what you were really getting, type deal.
Or being oh, hey, I want to build a gaming PC, and they push you towards all the high end spec. Now all you got to do is go on YouTube and type in 2018 budget gaming PC, and you will find a dozen videos on the front page of gaming PCs using 2018 parts that back then cost $500 to $800, that today you'll likely be able to get for $300 to $500.
Right, exactly.
Follow that, and boom, you got a system that will actually be at least on par, if not definitely outperform, not the RTX stuff, the ray tracing, but everything else, it'll be what you want out of an Xbox Series X or PS5.
Right.
So, I've always been a part of the PC group for the longest, and it's just I like Sony's PlayStation, but like you said, I think it's too fast. I think that's the key word is just like, wow, you guys, is the writing on the wall that much? Should I even bother with the PS5? Like,
yeah, that has been a question of mine now for a couple months. You know, the initial release of it, I was like, oh, I gotta get one. I gotta get one. And I didn't, you know, because I didn't have money at the time and stuff, and I didn't, spend the night, you know. Yeah, and always there's no really good launch titles.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll wait. And the more I'm waiting, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to get one. There's not a game out there on the PS5 right now, nor what they showed me, you know, on their line, you know, the newest lineup, like saying, I gotta get that game. I gotta get it, you know. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that I think that I'm not the only one. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of waiting to see what's coming out for, you know, either the new Xbox or the new PlayStation to really sell them on it. And so
I need to see what they do with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah,
because I know it's PlayStation exclusivity ends, and I think it's goes to Microsoft later this year. Don't quote me on that, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what I believe was the deal. But I don't think it was slated for PC. So if that's a similar deal to where it would be 2 or 3 years after part 2 was released before it hit PC, I have to have a PS5 for that.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree.
And Horizon Forbidden West, which everyone Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the greatest games ever made. If you've got a PlayStation 4, you've not played that, it's on their version of Game Pass, the PlayStation Now, or at least it used to be. It's worth buying it at full price today, brand new in cellophane wrap. I'm not kidding. It's that amazing. But there's a few titles, but if it was going to be like time and time, like no more, it's PlayStation and PC. I can hook my PlayStation controller to my PC and play Final Fantasy on there. Why do I need a PlayStation then?
Right, exactly.
So, anyways, some cool news outside of the technology world kind of hit. Schockey, you want to tell us about a character named Hera?
Yeah, so it's been a kind of a crazy, say, a couple months now for Lucasfilm and Gina Carano, and it basically, writing was on the wall, I'd say back in November, December, that, Gina Carano's time on, the set of The Mandalorian was coming to an end. And, it happened sooner rather than later. We did break a story a while back before The Mandalorian season 2 hit that Lucasfilm was working on a spin-off series that was going to star Gina Carano's character, Cara Dune. We didn't know the exact name of it, and I knew that this show had been around for a while. I didn't know that Gina Carano's character was going to be the lead of it, but I knew that, we were definitely getting Ahsoka, we were getting Boba Fett, we were getting the Ezra Thrawn show, and then there was that other one that we heard about. The information just wasn't clear, and then it was, started coming a little bit more and more, and right before season 2 of Mando came out, Gina Carano, was the name that, was given to me. And so we went with it. And then Disney Investors Day came out, and it was Rangers of the New Republic comes out, but nothing to it. And it was really weird. Every other show we had some sort of premise idea, or at least who was attached to it.
Right. And, I think the only thing, correct me if I'm wrong, they grouped it with
Ahsoka,
Manda and Ahsoka, and said that these, because they were hiding Book of Boba Fett at the time.
Correct.
They said these three are there. These three connect.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're building up to like some climactic event.
Yes.
You know, kind of like what
Defenders
the
type thing.
Defenders and the CWDC shows how they did
Crisis,
that. You know, the Crisis.
Yeah.
And so it was really weird that they didn't announce Carano right there, and a couple other scoopers and guys I talked to, they were kind of wondering about was Carano still attached, but Carano was there was nothing mentioned of it. And so then boom, we get the news Carano's no longer part of Lucasfilm for the reasons that they state. And so I started digging around and start asking a couple people like, hey man, what is the show Rangers of the New Republic all about? What's the deal? And it's been very secretive, because it seems like there's the news of Carano's let go has been around in at least Lucasfilm for a while. And so they had their original plan and like a backup plan, like a 1A, 1B type deal. And so just kind of fishing around, I finally got enough information that I can go with it. But basically there's not 100%, like a sole purpose, person leading the show Rangers of the New Republic. But the idea is that like Cara Dune was going to kind of be the glue and link to all the characters. And the reason behind it was that we already knew the backstory behind her. And so what I got was
Marshall job. And,
right. So we kind of knew that all stuff. So the problem that, creatives were having was, how do we introduce a show and not keep it where it's introducing a bunch of new characters and having to go into everyone's backstory. So it seems that pretty much that the decision has been made to have Harrison Dula, who started off in the Star Wars Rebels, come in as kind of being the lead of that show. It connects a lot of pieces together, that was already established in the Mando series, but her character is already connected to Ahsoka, already connected to Bo-Katan, and then it basically is, it's an easy transition is what they see.
Okay. Also connected to Ezra, and the one character's name I know was dropped. Not that it was going to happen in Mando season 2, but this other former animated character's name was dropped, Sabine Wren. And some of us were like, oh, okay, maybe she'll be part of the Mando group in Mando season 2. People thought maybe that was Sasha Banks's character. Turned out not to be the case. And I know Cam and I, we were like, will the Rangers end up being like Kara, Mayfield, Bo, or maybe Sabine? Like, those were the things that we were thinking. Excuse me. So I wonder if Sabine is something that may have, that name was in those halls because of Rangers, and Hera just makes a natural replacement. Because like you said, she's already got a backstory. Yeah, some people like me that didn't watch the tunes will have to read some wiki pages.
Right.
But how do you feel about her coming into live action?
I think it's good because it's a smart move. It's, in my idea, it's a smart play. Okay, because a couple things. Number one, we've already got the backstory. Okay, so it's all taken care of. We don't need 3 to 4 episodes of introducing a character. We can go right into introducing other new characters and kind of forming that. So the lead character ish is already established. There's connectivity already around, like you said, connected to Sabine, to Ezra, to Thrawn, to Ahsoka, Bo-Katan. She's technically the pilot of the Ghost. She's the pilot of the Ghost, and the Ghost was in Rogue One and The Rise of Skywalker. So we know that she's alive during this time period. Her name is mentioned in Rogue One when they're on the Yavin base, and as Captain Syndulla, please report to such and such. So we got that, and so to me, it's we have Ahsoka looking for Thrawn, which I think will look for Ezra. So it's kind of all playing into kind of what the Filoni Favreau story is building up for this climactic event, which I believe, I know some people are thinking it's towards the Mandalorian War and that aspect of it, which I think will play somewhat a factor in it. But I think the big event will be the birth of the First Order. And we're going to get that somehow, some way it all play out together. And because we've seen some interviews where Favreau and Filoni have said that this will connect to, in some ways, connect to the sequel trilogy. So, maybe we get that backstory, how the First Order really started up. Yeah. So, I mean, Hera, great character. I think, for people, fans of Rebels, they'll be excited. Kids, can go and watch Rebels and then like her just like they did with Ahsoka. And, so
is her voice actress someone that could play the character in person or no?
Maybe. There's. I was watching Kessel Run's show earlier today, and they were talking about this, and they were mentioning a couple different actresses that could do the role. And the one that everybody laughed about because she's basically in everything was what's her? And now I see her face. She was in Avatar. She's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana, right? Yeah, it basically put Zoe Saldana in there because she's been in. It seems like she's been in every single major franchise from Star Trek,
Star Wars,
Avatar, and just Marvel. Just throw her in Star Wars, as Hera, and you basically got it and stuff. So,
it's fun. When you ask if a voice actor could transition over and play the live action version, some people wonder why. And you're like, well, understand, voice actors can be incredibly old and sound incredibly young, and they might not be able to play a Mandalorian ass kicking around. I don't need repeats of Christopher Lee's odd head on another person's body.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point there. That was probably one of the biggest shocks in my life, was seeing the actual actors who voiced the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was like, what? No, that can't be right.
Oh man. Although I will say Greg Sipes, who voiced Beast Boy on Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, did Mikey on the 2012 version of the Turtles. Swear, massive, Ninja Turtles fan. I got my Ninja Turtles tattoo. That 2012 Nickelodeon show, the CGI one, that is the greatest version of the Ninja Turtles all around. And it is so in tune with not just Ninja Turtle fans as Ninja Turtle fans, but there's even a scene, I kid you not, they go to the Statue of Liberty to use it for something, and they open up their chest, and in the chest is a Nintendo joystick, which is what Ghostbusters 2 used, and a less, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's not as adult, but a version of the Burnin' Hell Venkman from Ghostbusters 1 on his office door. That's spray painted on the inside of the Statue of Liberty's head in that 2012 Ninja Turtles tune. It's brilliant. And Sipe says Mikey is something he should do forever. Forever. I asked Cam, if we thought they could recast Kara, because I kind of liked the character, her. I liked what he had set her up as, the connection to Alderaan, the fact that she was the New Republic's version of a stormtrooper, even, a shock trooper, because whether you like it or not, the Empire had people that needed that type of action. You know, they weren't going to surrender. It wasn't going to, you couldn't bomb all around them and say, we've got superiority. You got to go in and take them on. So I liked the idea of exploring that. So I'm kind of sad they decided not to just recast her, because I would have been fine with a recast to keep her around. I will give Hera her absolute fair due and shake. I believe that some of us, because I explained this to Kim, you got kids as well, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they're how old? Range?
Don't give me 7 and 5.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So your kids are actually my son's age. I grew up, you know, I was 14 when episode 1 came out, so I was too old to love it. Like, I didn't realize exactly how bad it was when it first came out, but I did like the next time I watched it. But because of my age and the fact that I didn't have kids until later, I didn't get into Rebels. I didn't get into the other one, Clone Wars, because I hated the prequels. My fear now is almost everything except Din Djarin himself is a Filoni creation. Like,
right?
Do you think people like me that are live action fans are going to be able to fully enjoy this going forward?
Yes, because I think just like what they did with Ahsoka, of course, the fans, you know, that watch the Clone Wars and Rebels that love Ahsoka, you know, were of course hyped for that one episode that she was in. It seemed that, you know, general fans of The Mandalorian thought that, you know, Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka was pretty cool, and right. The character was pretty cool. Like, you didn't have to have the whole backstory of Ahsoka Tano. You could just basically say, oh, she's just this wandering Jedi, and, you know, she's got her own mission. She's doing her own thing. You don't even have to appreciate it to know and know that she was connected to Anakin Skywalker, you know, and the Padawan of Anakin, and all these other things that went on in the Clone Wars and even Rebels. I mean, I think that's how they're going to introduce Hera to the show. It's similar to how she's in Star Wars Squadrons. You know, I don't know how many people have played that game, but in the campaign, she's, you know, a recurring character on there that you talk to and gives backstories, and you know, she plays a pivotal role in the space battles that take place. And so I think it'll be okay. I agree with you on your point, though. I enjoyed Cara Dune. I know that there was a lot of people like, well, Gina Carano couldn't act, whatever. But here's the thing I liked about what Jon Favreau and Filoni were doing with Cara Dune and Bill Burr's character, is that they were humanizing the galactic war, right?
Yes.
Is that we've seen the superhero, supervillain, the Jedi and stuff. Yeah, the Galactic Civil War, and we've seen these unbelievable characters in how, you know, they're fighting, but we didn't get to really see, you know, the average human, you know, that was going through an everyday fighter. And I think that's something that gets lost a lot, you know, in war movies and stuff, is that, you know, we all are into the big stories and the big superheroes wearing the capes and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, war is fought on the ground by regular men and women. And that is something that Cara Dune's character, I think, was going to really explore. And Bill Burr's character, when the last episode he was in, when he was sitting there doing that, you know, that piece and exposing, you know, the horrific things that stormtroopers had to do and how they did not agree to go along with this. And, you know, the post-traumatic stress that you could see Bill Burr's character have from there. That to me was like, that's what Rangers of the New Republic is going to be, is basically, you know, the people that have lost their faith in governments or in, you know, in the Jedi, is that they're fighting their personal battles and stuff. And so I think that's what, you know, Cara Dune brought to the table. Now, do a lot of people understand that? No, because a lot of people don't care about war like that. They don't see war as individual people fighting and the sacrifices that they put, on themselves and on their families, and that stress there. And I think that was something that was humanistic about that we don't get a lot of in Star Wars. Everything's such a force. This was a very humanistic part that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, that, or we get only the extreme negative side of the effects of war. We don't ever get, like you said, a group of people that said, this is enough. We're standing up. We're doing this our way, or showing it from the ground perspective. You get a lot of so-called great takes on, oh, look at the poor soldiers and the PTSD that all leads to drugs and violence. So if that's actually really, I would love to see something like that. Now, I don't ever bitch and complain or demand certain depictions. Artists can do whatever they want. Right. But one cool thing about the EU that people might not know is how many ground level characters, defenders, your Daredevil type characters and stories existed in the EU, which is what Mando started out as. Rogue One feels very, very, very much like reading an EU book. It's I hope it all works out well and fits. I think I had a different point. Where did it go?
I mean,
where was I? I was on the Rangers. Oh yeah, the war thing. I would love this. The EU explored some things like that. That would be very, very interesting, because Mayfield's character and that scene with that officer.
It was
great.
To me, that was the best scene in Mando season 2. I know that everybody has their favorite parts of it with like Ahsoka or like Cobb Vanth and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, Mayfield, that right there to me was the kind of epitome of Star Wars. In a sense. It was, you could see just how helpless he was in one singular moment, and flashing back to a time period where he thought he was doing good, but then reflecting on it, knowing how much pain and how much suffering he caused for one side. It's just, I don't know. I really enjoy it. I thought Bill Burr did amazing. I hope he comes back either in The Mandalorian or in Rangers of the New Republic. It would be amazing. I think that's what they were trying to lead to with Cara Dune letting him go, was that Cara, would recruit him to be, be a part of it, somehow, some way, be a part of the New Republic. And that would have been, amazing, because I think that there needs to be more of that. And I think that type of, that type of dialogue, you don't get that a lot in especially in the Star Wars realm. And to me, I was like, you couldn't write it any better in that moment right there.
Yeah, it was great. The one thing Star Wars has kind of going against it that Marvel has going for it is Marvel has a story well to draw from. Star Wars doesn't anymore, really. They can draw from the EU, and they can draw from their history as far as, oh, remember that character, there was a thread, maybe we can pick that thread up and carry it. But they can't do with like what Marvel's doing with WandaVision, where they're reaching back 40 years of comics from the 12-issue Scarlet Witch and Vision to the West Coast of Avengers to House of M. Like, all this stuff is being touched. I actually think that kind of hurts Star Wars just a little bit, but it also is exciting because it means that whenever they announce a show, we should at least expect it to be filled with mostly new stuff.
Yeah, and so I agree with you to some aspects of that. I think Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy learned their lesson from the sequel trilogy that trying to be 100%, new was a bad thing. Trying to the way that they were using the Star Wars storyline and trying to incorporate these new characters and just sprinkle little tidbits of here to the
it wasn't a smooth transition.
It was not. I think what we've seen now is that they acknowledge that they're now, the Mandalorian was new and was great, but it took somebody, a great storyteller like Jon Favreau to put it together. But now allowing characters that Filoni and Lucas came up with to bring them into live action. I think too, seeing Patty Jenkins do a Rogue Squadron movie. I don't think it's going to be 100% identical to what this, like Stackpole Road.
Oh, I don't think it can be at all.
Yeah, but I think you will see a lot of similarities or a lot of things that you could say, oh, that's where she got that from. That's where they got that from.
I hope so.
I think you're starting to see that. It's not necessarily like pulling what Marvel's doing, exact comic book storylines and maybe more from just a little bit so it flows with each other, but they're starting to say, all right, now I think the Acolyte, you're going to see some of that stuff. I think, you're going to start to see things coming from Knights of the Old Republic, that just, you could see like, okay, I see where they're getting this story and stuff. It's an homage, however you want to put it, to the old stuff.
So you think they might actually start borrowing from the EU?
Yeah, I think not directly as what you see from Marvel going straight to comic book storyline, but you're going to see similarities. I think you'll see
from
inspirations. Yeah, a lot more. From instead of trying to create something brand new and say, okay, let's use what we've had, available to us. I think that's where Filoni was great when he brought Thrawn into Star Wars Rebels. He had Timothy Zahn basically, help him kind of create, what the persona should be and you could, if you read Timothy Zahn's original, books on Thrawn and you see Star Wars Rebels, you see a lot of the similarities there and how the mannerisms, and it's like, wow, that's exactly what I would envision him to be from the book to, to animation, and then maybe something in real life that we'll get hopefully soon. It would be cool to see. I don't know if you, what was it? Shadows of the Empire, where it was Prince Shizor. There we go. I always originally called it Ixor for some odd reason, but Shizor and stuff. I think we might get not maybe the exact same character, but something like that. And so
I'll say this, and I hope you're right, but I'll counter with this where I think it won't happen. Disney never, other than Tatooine, and I think there was one other, maybe in a flashback or something. We never visited a planet that we had seen in the OT in the sequel trilogy. Hell, other than some Mon Cal and like a random Rhodian, we didn't see any old aliens species. Like, they're so obsessed with toys and merchandise. So new maps, updated Atlas books, this, that, and the other. I really don't. I don't trust them to get like characters. Sure, aliens, places, things to feel more cohesive. I don't know. I would love to go to Alderaan for a while, right?
That would be so. I've always wondered about that. What was Alderaan like before it was blown up? Dantooine. You get that one mention in the original trilogy. The rebel base is on Dantooine. What the hell is on Dantooine to make it?
Yeah, it was an old base. It was abandoned. Yeah. So, are we going to see any of that in Andor?
It might. I would think in Andor you might get some of those locations. It's weird, because even I thought, what was it in Solo? We might get to see like Cloud City, where Lando might be at or whatever, and never did. Like, it's weird. It's like your points. We don't ever go back to Dagobah. We don't ever go to Hoth. We don't ever go to Cloud City. We don't.
They create new planets that look like and feel like
Yeah,
places
we don't
we
go to
already
Force
been.
Moon of Endor. We go to Endor in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's where the Death Star blew up and stuff. And so yeah, it's that Tatooine is the only it's an ongoing joke. Everything happened on Tatooine. From the
God.
original trilogy all the way to Mandalorian. All the basic things happen on Tatooine. So just go to Tatooine if you want to see some excitement.
So much for if there was a place, if there was a bright side of the galaxy, that would be the place that was furthest from.
Yeah.
I have no way to segue this, but Superman news came out too. Since we didn't get to talk yesterday on LRMornings, sorry about that, guys. J.J. Abrams producing, Ta-Nehisi Coates writing, a new black centered Superman. Again, J.J. Abrams producing, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's a comic writer, did some runs on Cap, did some run on Black Panther, some graphic novels, including historical graphic novels, and he did something for DC, didn't he? Or a team for someone, I thought, like a Justice League or Avengers or something.
Can't remember.
X-Men, something. Anyways, your take on what do you think Warner Brothers is doing with this character, and where they're gonna fit into the universe?
So this one is interesting because a lot of people freaked out and they're like, "Oh no, Henry Cavill's no longer Superman" and stuff.
They're calling it a reboot online. Some sites.
I think this is just kind of like we see different Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ben Affleck's Batman, Batmans, right? Yeah. Different Batmans. We have Ben Affleck's, Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman.
Rob Pattinson.
I wanted to call him Rob Christensen for some odd reason. Rob Pattinson's Batman. And so there are, I believe, two.
And Affleck is supposed to have some sort of outro, right?
Yeah, in the Flash. Yeah,
Flash.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. So there's two black Supermen in the multiverse in the comic books.
Calvin Ellis.
Calvin Ellis is
Val. Something Val or Val something.
Valbar or something. Or I gotta look it up. I apologize. I didn't do my homework on this one.
Yeah, I think it's Val-El. Oh, no, never mind. Who? Thought it had a V in it.
Let's see.
I thought
Val-Zod. There you go.
Val-Zod. There you go. I knew it had a V.
Yep, Val-Zod. And so I think it's gonna be Calvin Ellis, because that was the one that. So I think Val-Zod was taking place in the 70s or something. Calvin Ellis's Superman is more what you call it?
Contemporary.
Yeah, contemporary. There you go. He actually works in the White House and stuff. So I could see, with everything going on, in the world today, especially politically, having that type of movie, that type of Superman, be introduced. So it would be great to have. Like, to me, Superman is, multiple types of beings and stuff. So, still have Henry Cavill's Superman and, continue, because I think he's signed on to do, a cameo appearances in a couple in the Flash and something else. And I thought he was on for another like 2 movies or whatever as Superman. I could be wrong, but also this is a great news, I think, because it's more comic book movies. I'm definitely down for it. And it's not the same. If it's this reboot, if J.J. Abrams gives me another damn story of Clark Kent, in Kansas, I'm gonna throw up. I swear to you. But I don't think that's the route. I think Coates is gonna do the Calvin Ellis approach, maybe twist it up a little bit. But
not so much Barack Obama on the nose.
Oh yeah. No, not that, but no, just switch it up a little bit but make it his own. But I think it'd be great. Yeah, I think we need to expand. I think what Matt Reeves is doing with Robert Pattinson's Batman so far, what we saw in the trailer, that's something totally different that we haven't really seen. And so give me that. Don't give me the same stuff over and over again. Like that's what my issue was with like The Force Awakens. I'd already seen that. Like, don't give me that same stuff. To do something crazy, give me something new, something different type deal. So if we get a brand new type of Superman, all for it. Oh, and don't do the Steel remake with Shaquille O'Neal. Don't do that.
You don't know John Henry.
No, John Henry. Shaquille O'Neal comes back.
I don't need Reign of the Superman and live action yet.
Yeah,
you guys already did the death. Brought him back. Put him in a black suit just because it looks cool.
Yep.
The Val-Zod thing, I think you could go I think you could twist it a little bit different from his Earth 2 character, her, but I would be afraid of them making him DC's Killmonger if they did that.
Yeah, I think I could see that.
And so I kind of agree with you that the Calvin Ellis makes more sense, but then again, it is Warner Brothers. I could see them totally doing Killmonger Superman, but not as a bad guy, just a little bit more, almost like Superboy Prime, but not psychotic.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they're trying to do with The Rock as Black Adam.
Right. I'm going to kill this person because they deserve to die. I'm not feeling bad about it, Superman. You can go feel bad about it and then break his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
They might do that. I don't want to see. I don't want to see him be a bad guy or anything like that and have to be redeemed or anything. There's so many possibilities, but you don't think we're getting a new Clark Kent?
I hope not.
Not.
Coates writing it, I don't think so. But J.J. Abrams,
and Warner
I'm more.
Brothers.
I feel like I'm scared of J.J. Abrams. Like in all honesty. The guy, I swear he's the nicest guy in the world. Every single time I see him doing an interview, he's great. But man, his storytelling, I don't get it. Like, he's a very safe, like, say what you want about Snyder and, Ryan Johnson and some of the other ones that have been critiqued a lot over the past 10 years. At least they take risks. They gamble. J.J. Abrams plays it straight, on the nose and does it the way, if there's a blueprint already made, he's going to copy it and just say, all right, here we go. Here, we're going to add a couple special effects. We're going to do this, boom, boom, boom. All right, we're good. And it's like, I'm rewatching Jaws, guys. Same shark all over again. So, I mean, think about it. What was it? Cloverfield was basically Godzilla. Just
it was
first person
enough. It was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing. I actually liked 10 Cloverfield Lane a lot.
That one, okay. I'll give
Goodman.
you that one.
I like John Goodman.
But then the one in space,
that was dumb.
That was just the remake of Alien.
Yeah,
that was it. Like I was like, this is just. I'm rewatching like a updated version
of
Alien.
Alien and Event Horizon.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep, combined.
Yeah, it was dumb. I didn't care for it. And just to see the monster from Cloverfield jump up through the clouds at the end. Ooh, sorry if I spoiled it, ladies and gentlemen. I saved you time.
No, funny thing about that is the first time I watched it on Netflix, I fell asleep 30 minutes into it, and I woke up right at the end, and I saw the ending. I was like, oh, well, that makes so much sense right now. They're like, gosh, like I should have just. No wonder I fell asleep. I knew the ending was going to lead to that right there. So, gosh, but no, I think. Look, I love the Val-Zod Superman costume where it's got like the white cape and it's like blue and red and stuff like that. That would be so like, give me that right there. I will go to the movie theaters and watch that. You give me a remake of Clark Kent, a black man in Kansas farming. Don't.
I went on to Twitter when it was announced and several prominent political activists that are black that I follow me, talk with they all were asking their audience as well, what do you guys think? And browsing around, the majority of African Americans or black people that I saw, because it could be from anywhere here, so they all wanted to see, the majority of them seemed Calvin Ellis or Val-Zod leaning. That's what they wanted. Like,
right.
The only time I ever saw Clark's name being brought up was either somebody that assumed that this meant that Clark was now African American and that Cavill was out and they were rebooting, the classic Kal-El soups, and then just like a very, very light sprinkling of idiot people that were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make, Kal-El all over again. But most people really want to see something new and different. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like Miles was.
Yes. Doing exactly like that. Miles Morales, that was perfect at how they introduced Miles Morales in the comic book world. Mm-hmm. And then into the movie, into the Spider-Verse. I think that's a great way to introduce a new version of an old character. Mm-hmm. To give us something new. It's close enough that we can all relate, but it's definitely a new storyline.
Yeah. I mean that there's a reason Miles still around in mm-hmm. comics, and his sales are still decent. Oh, yeah. Some characters who are around despite really crappy sales, and I question that, but Miles tends to do real well, and yeah, that's what the world needs. We need more creators. So you got an idea out there, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a doodle of superhero that represents you. Something that we haven't seen on the page, or something that we rarely see, and we need you guys to get it printed, get it out there, so it can become a huge movie, and then we can talk about it here on this podcast. So go out and create, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything that we missed today? Hey.
No, I think it's been been kind of light news wise, past 24, 48 hours. So.
It's all right. You guys know where to find all the news at, though. It's LRMonline.com. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Lots of great things are on there, from all of our celebrity interviews to all of our podcasts are up there. And, of course, our podcast network, wherever you guys get podcasts from Spotify to SoundCloud, Apple, we're everywhere. SoundCloud's kind of cool. It's got our playlists, and it's got our entire library. It's not like an endorsement, but some things you might not be able to find elsewhere. SoundCloud, free, it's there, and in playlist form, so that's cool. Schockey, where can people find you at online, and other LRM stuff you want to say?
Well, of course, go to the website LRMonline.com. You can find basically all our social media on Twitter at LRM _ exclusive, and then on Instagram LRM exclusive. And then we've got a couple big, exciting news announcements to make in the next couple weeks that we're just trying to finalize the last pieces, and I think everyone's going to be happy about it in the LRM community.
Indeed, and you guys will be able to talk to us and hear about some of that stuff right here on LRMornings every Monday through Friday. You guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter, at that one Kyle Malone on Instagram. That's the number 1 in there. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you tomorrow.